So what are we doing today? I'm going to tell you what we're doing today. Today is going to be the conclusion of the Royal Enfield Himalayan. And what I mean by the conclusion is, what do I think of it? How do I really like it? And, any little tiny whatevers, idiosyncrasies that the bike may have, or that just whatever, we're going to give it that whole, I don't want to say review. I'm just going to say my opinion of things that I see and like and don't like and whatever. And I think today, considering that it's nice and bright and sunny and it's actually 60, we're having the remnants of a storm from further out coming through, and we've got 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts today. And believe me, I've been sitting in here in the garage listening to the 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts shake and rattle this garage door, and the vent on the roof of the garage up there spinning like it's a turbine on a 747. So, hey, you're going to test something. Why not put it through its paces? Hopefully I just don't get blown off the road. Usually on a Saturday and it's nice and sunny, and especially 60 degrees, you can hear the motorcycles coming past the house. Harleys, street bikes, crotch rockets, you name it, man, they're flying by here. Well, not today. So I could be the only idiot out there on a motorcycle in 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts. But it's for testing purposes. I mean, what better way to test it? That's the way I look at it. So if you feel the same, keep watching. So anyway, let's get everything on, helmeted up and jacketed up and, protected up and all that fun stuff. And let's get out there and fight this wind. So let's just go ahead and get this out of the way now. There won't but two things that really bothered me throughout the day. The first thing was when I started the bike earlier and tried to warm it up, it ran for about 2 minutes and then just randomly cut off. Now I don't know what that was all about, but I fired it right back up and it never did it again after that, so let's hope it grows out of that. The second thing was, I noticed that my compass pretty much didn't work throughout the entire day. Don't know what that was all about either. But I've heard tell that you're really not supposed to pay any mind to that thing anyway, so I just let it blink and do its thing and carried on. Now I went to Yorktown because I knew there was a lot of open fields and we were going to be down by the water, and those 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts were going to pretty much tell me a whole lot about how this bike handles under pressure. Now I'll tell you this, the transmission, 5-speed, it shifts great, very smooth, not clunky in any way, shape, or form. First and second gear, you can idle that thing right down and just kind of chug along. Third and fourth gear, cut right through the wind. Didn't have any real problems with that, very torquey and took me right on through. But you can tell it's torquey, it's not powerful. Now I'll say this, it took a lot longer for that seat to become uncomfortable than it did the first time I got out on it. Which that kind of made me happy because I'm hoping that it breaks in and I don't have to spend $219 on another seat. It actually made me so happy that I think it even made this Mazda Miata happy because it was smiling when it came by me. Now I jumped out onto the parkway because it's an aggregate road and it's kind of bumpy. And I just wanted to see exactly how a 45-mile-per-hour journey on a somewhat bumpy road was going to feel. And quite honestly, it was fine. I was very comfortable. Even with the wind hitting me at Mach 7, trying to tear my helmet off my head, I still felt comfortable and felt stable. pulled over here just so we could get a good look at the river and see the white caps and where the 30-mile-per-hour gusts were cutting across it. Now let's talk about this luggage here real quick. Viaterra, however you want to say it. I checked the straps. The wind was hitting me pretty hard, and I mean pretty hard. The straps were tight and everything was good. Nothing had come loose. Pretty sure this luggage is going to serve its purpose quite well. Now let's talk about this 31.5-inch seat height. I'm 5'8", and I still kind of had to use the balls of my feet to hold myself up. But I didn't have to one-leg it. I could honestly put my feet down at any stoplight or stop sign. Now right here I got hit with a couple of wind gusts that if I'd have been on the monkey, I'm pretty sure I'd have probably wound up in those trees to the left over there somewhere. But the Royal Enfield, weighing in at 439 pounds, it cuts through the wind pretty good. And the window, I gotta say, it does veer a lot of that wind around you, even though it's not the biggest window in the world. So what can I honestly tell you about this bike? I've said it before and I'll say it again. It does everything well. Now, I'm not going to tell you it does it great or better than any other, but it does what it does well. And as long as you look at this bike with that frame of mind, you'll probably say the same thing. Because really, this bike is really, to me, just a big Honda monkey. It's fun, and that's what it's supposed to be, fun. Even with 30-mile-an-hour winds blasting you in the face. As you see, I was the only bike out there, and there was a reason for that. The others were scared. But the Himalayan handled it well. So I would have to say, if you're thinking about one of these bikes, you're looking at a great price point, a good strong bike that's going to do pretty much whatever you put it through. And this is the old College of William and Mary, and I'm going to tell you what, this place will test your brakes. The front brake on this bike, I don't think it's weak. I think it really just doesn't kick in until you've pulled back a little further than what you would on a different bike. It stops pretty well. I'm actually looking very forward to some relaxing rides on this bike. Filling that luggage as full as I can get it with everything that I need. Doing some camping, doing some fishing, or just out joyriding. And just saying that you're looking forward to something these days when it comes to a good motorcycle ride says a lot. So I had to turn into the old Lee Hall train station because my father worked for the railroad for over 40 years, the C&O. And every time I see that old chassis system caboose, I always think of him. Well, if I can't tell you anything other than I had a great time on this bike today, I don't know if that'll tell you anything or not. So if you're looking into getting one, I don't think you're going to hurt yourself. You'll enjoy it. I did. As long as you take this bike for what it is and don't try to compare it to everything else out there, you'll have a good, strong bike that's going to do what you want it to do. And I was so happy with it right here. When I made this right turn, I let all 25 horses run. We'll see you guys next time.